There's just a disconnect from where you are to floating.
I actually know.
I am going to share with you the 3 things you need to know to figure out your own bespoke, specific strategy, because what it is for other world leaders is definitively not the same as it is for you.
Well, I'm not saying, Pat. It's helpful, really, if we don't. I find it helpful
Yeah.
to
I love you so
quit
much.
blaming.
So much.
Well, you're getting the 80-year-old version, and you lived with the 37-year-old version.
I know you. I've been you. And right now you don't have a strategy that will allow you to get free.
I can't show on video really what happens with people. Like the people who've been with me for the longest amounts of time get like, they'll consistently say a life beyond their dreams because they come wanting this one thing, but then like who they're really meant to be is what's at peril, is what's at stake. So it's tricky.
Number 1, you need to heal.
Do you forgive me?
Well, I beg your pardon.
Because there are times in my life where I've been a jerk. I said, do you forgive me?
Well, of course I do.
Your business is an expression, most often, of your lack, of your brokenness, of your pain, of your trauma. And so I know that that's confrontive, and even in the research I did prior to doing this with current clients, they were like, I don't want to hear that. I don't either, but here's the truth. Like, your business is one portion of your life. And yes, your legacy and your purpose, exceedingly important to serve. But the issue is that you're most likely going to run out of time. All those things that are on your to-do list, like the carpenter next door, he's actually going to get them done. But we don't know that you will. Yes? So, you can surrogate it out. You can get somebody like me to mom you into a space where you feel enough. But if your actions or your business model or your strategy come from a place of unhealedness, they will never get you where you're meant to go, because the journey in life is not actually to have a big business. The journey in life is to reach another plane. So if we take money out of your business and we just look at how much are you serving, we start to see that there's a disconnect. And we most likely start to see that you're exhausted, that you're getting close to burning out, that you can't figure out how to do it without getting out of the hustle.
Did you really mean? Do you forgive me? You think I know?
Yeah. No, I was just curious. There are
Here's the
times that
question.
was difficult.
Do you forgive me?
Of course.
And so you need to heal. And it's a very specific kind of healing. If you want more information on it, like, I'll bonus it to you exactly how to do it, because it's very specific. It's not like sitting on a mountaintop and then going back, having a huge business that exhausts you, frustrates you, and doesn't actually reach where you're meant to be. Your business is actually meant to be effective. Your business is actually meant to get the job done. It's like, I'm fascinated by ministers. I'm fascinated by the altar call. And I'm fascinated by, like, when I was 12, I can't believe I'm telling this story. There was this big football field, and I was there with my grandmother, and it was the Midwest, and they were like, do you want to give your life to Jesus? And I got up and went down. My grandma called my mother the next day, and I don't know what she said, but I did think it would totally change my life it didn't change anything. If anything, it gave me a bigger sense of dissatisfaction because I had stood up to the plate, I jumped over, I'd said yes, and there was nothing to catch me. And so if we look at like levels of frequency in a triangle of consciousness, yes, your business is not about money or team or hustle or any of that. Your business is about like, are you doing what you came here to do? Which we'll talk about more in number 3.
I facilitate the legacy of others. I seek to find and be told their stories and to hold their stories for access all over the world through archives. We have not kept women's words. Their first year or 2,
Yeah,
Black women
great.
with building networks of others.
Number 2, it's not enough to like heal. The way that one heals actually, if you want the hack, is action. So it's like, I'm sober 33 years. I don't really know why I drink some days. It is not required for me to be sober. I just don't drink, amongst other things. It never was like figure out why you drank and then you'll stop. So, you want to know that action heals. And the things that I have people do, like some of the folks that you've seen, is very specific to them. It's unique because what you need to do is radically different than someone else.
How do you get in your own way in one word? So each of us do something that gets in our own way and we don't see it. What is the verb that you do when you're not acting in your own best interest? How do you act against yourself? None of us like to think this way. It's very important though, because half of our business is like the issue with us being given our gifts and being CEO of it also. If you're an Olympian, you have a coach, right? So what's your flip turn that you don't do well? This is why it's brave to be on camera.
Laziness.
Oh my gosh, what? And so, but what, this is what I love, is that I always say to people, verb. And I feel like I hear my mother in my ears, she knows what a verb is. Why do all of these really smart us not know what verbs are? So what do you do when you're lazy?
I procrastinate.
Oh, that's gorgeous. What do you need in order to not procrastinate?
I know what's gotten me past procrastinating. It's,
I want to have a new conversation.
okay,
I have a mother who says we can do things that we've never done before.
that's right. I don't think I lack anything. I think I'm not activating something.
We need to understand that what's at risk right now is the legacy of multitudes of unheard voices that are disappearing. Like since we started talking today, people are leaving the planet and their words won't be kept. You need to find someone to manage this for you. And I would suggest that you bring them in on a percentage basis.
And so a high-level strategic partnership for you might be your downfall, a distraction, something that creates more friction and doesn't get you free time on a beach. But for someone else, it could be the exact right thing. For someone else, stepping into reaching out to people and owning their worth can be the thing that changes everything. I have clients who follow radically different strategies. As you've seen, if you're not owning your worth, then increasing what you receive could definitely be the thing. But there are other things, like I've had moms who've had kids who've gotten ill, and in a moment we've needed to change the entire business model so that they could be bedside with their kid whenever needed. truth of the outcomes strategically that I've done with people that I'm really proud of are things like people saying they walk with a straighter spine or have saved their life. It's based on strategy. It's based on acumen. Like for us, the way that we have gotten clients for the past 7 years has been a video I shot 7 years ago, intentionally. We're not out there recreating, regurgitating, spending time. Because time is really the issue for you. It occurs like it's money, but it's not. It's like if I track my time, I've got a couple of hours of spiritual practice in the morning, a couple of hours out there every day, a couple hours with my kids, a couple hours with my community, and some days a couple hours with clients. Now for other people, they don't want that. And so I'm not suggesting, and this is the pitfall, you can find somebody who's got a strategy that's worked for them.
I could get the connectors.
Yes.
And have the connectors doing the bigger pieces of the work.
Yes, and they could be doing it, like, if you have buy-in from them, so they're doing
Yes.
it for a percentage.
So what you're talking about is having the language to approach businesses to get some of their money.
See, this is exactly what we do here. Now all of a sudden it's golden because look at you. How many businesses do you happen to know that have money?
A lot. The reason I'm smiling is it's breakthrough. I'm not smiling for any other reason.
I know, breakthrough's my full name. Breakthrough's not my middle name, is your name. What was the breakthrough?
Nancy Woodhull on my board, who would say, here's what you can do for me, which I would go do. You had dinner with her with Betty Friedan. She was a street fighter. She didn't have a full degree anywhere. She teamed up and she was excellent.
You need a street fighter in your business. In your nonprofit, in your like you don't need to call it business. Your legacy, can I be really bold?
Yes.
Needs a street fighter like your father was.
Okay.
To champion you.
And you're going to find this as a stumbling block.
I thought you were going to say to me, and you're going to go find it. And I was like, I could, but am I?
I love analysis and it's not procrastination. I now know I need a Kay Fanning and I need a Nancy Woodhull.
Yeah, baby.
I have a client who's a huge healer. She was like, I will not charge high prices and I don't want to talk to people. And we radically changed what she did, and she's on sabbatical now. And results aren't typical, right? Like all of that disclaimer stuff, but know that there's such unlimited possibility for you. And the level of actions that you're taking are, like Einstein said, they're at the level of the problem. You really have to have a transcendent solution. And the reality is this, there's a guy who, maybe I'll change my tune. I'm gonna say I like him now, how about that? Who would always say, if you think you can do it alone, you're wrong. Like the universe doesn't intend for you to see the back of your own hair. The universe doesn't intend for you to not heal in mentorship or community or whatever that might be. So, there are strategies that you don't know. If you knew them, you would have already implemented them. You're not going to find them on your own. I get that you're super smart and you know most things, but I don't know the thing that you know. That's what I love most about working with clients, is they come to me with a body of work that I know just enough to be dangerous about. But I don't know the depth of mastery that you have in your level of genius. I do know enough though to get it on the path where you can move it forward. Yes? My Gene Keys says, so casual, says, I am the place, I'm a turning point for humanity. I am the place where people take quantum leaps. I do find it to be true. So the third thing that you definitively need is this. And I've never spoken this before, and I don't know, it freaked me out earlier today, but I don't feel so freaked out anymore. You have to figure out a way to get those actions done. Now, for me, I hear God when I'm in the ocean. I just tune in and listen, and I do those things because it's the frictionless way to love. Other people need some accountability. We do something called the magic metric, and people really focus on like a number 3, and there's a thing they do every week that's 3, and they've gone from scared, afraid, and little to like priestess, magnificent. Yes. And also note that I work with a lot of people who are very linear also. It's been interesting to me because I think that definitely there are a lot of people who do more woo-woo things, but note that my history was like in real estate and business development. And so I think sometimes when we are creatives, we just don't know the business path. And there's a bridge between our work and the business pieces where we don't know how to make that bridge, yes? And I think the bridge that my clients get is that I can hear when you're in alignment. It's a felt sense in my body. It's just the easy, fast way to get it done. I said to somebody once, you know when you're on a sales call and you get chills? And they were like, no. And I was like, oh, okay. If only when I started that would have worked. I really was the worst salesperson in the world. So these have been learned skills. But you have to implement them. You can do that with a friend, you can do that with a mentor, you can do that with an app, whatever is the thing that gets you to be brave. But you really are required to take those actions. And I know that you're an action taker, but the actions that you're taking are going to get you halfway up the mountain. And then like life's going to be done. You need actions that take you from where you are to the vibratory plane of like where miracles occur. You need a business miracle. If you need us to show you exactly what the strategy is for you that could work, then click the link and I'm happy to gift that to you because you're not going to get to where you want to go otherwise. It is not all like pixels, and we can do that. We can get down with anybody on that. But it's also the inside work. If you don't, you sort of stand to lose it all. And I don't want that for you. We liken it to birth often in this process. Like it's time for the baby to be born. The benefit of doing it is people will consistently say to me, I saw your video and I loved your energy. You're like answered prayer. Your fear of trusting is really holding you back. And I get it. You're meant for more. And you need someone who can hold your power. And in order to get where you want to go, it's frightening and it's frustrating, but you need support. My clients at the highest level have been healed most by support. And you want to understand the beauty is that the universe supports you. I go float in the sea and it holds me up. I don't have to do anything. You've got this. I believe in you.
You are enough. You are enough. You are enough.
Click the link.